Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is another Wilkinson motor project. This system is designed to run on its own energy. It's not complete yet. So far using an induction motor, permanent magnet alternator, 2 switches, plug, dimmer switch to control the speed of the induction motor. The speed of the induction motor increases the speed of the alternator, permanent magnet alternator. That puts a charge into the capacitor bank. The capacitor bank then get discharged back into the induction motor to keep the system going. Let's first get initial boost from an external source. Could be an outlet. You can use a 12-volt battery, use that inverter that can boost the induction motor up to get the system charged. After the system is the capacitor gets charged from the rotation device, which is the induction motor running at 1750 RPM, that turning at 130 RPM alternator that puts out 12 volts at 14 amps. Now the 2 switches here are as follows. This first switch is turning the motor on and off. This motor here, induction motor, and then the speed of the motor can be controlled by the variable or the dimmer switch here. Dimmer switch controls the speed of the induction motor. Then in the on position, the motor is activated. In the off position, the motor is deactivated. In the off position, the capacitor bank should be charged, getting charged. And the off position is discharged from the capacitor bank into the induction motor. Meaning this switch is in the on position while this is in the off. When this is in the on, this should be in the off. This get initial start from outlet power, which is the outlet power there, inducing it to the induction motor that turns the permanent magnet alternator. Now the capacitors may have a charge right now because I've been turning this thing a little, and I'm going to get something to discharge it to show that it does keep a charge. This is a total of 400 microfarad 350 volt capacitors. That's a little charge there. Okay, now I'm going to start the system up, get it running a little bit. We're not going to put a load on it yet with this bulb. This is a 3-way bulb from 50 watt to 150 watt, which can be illuminated pretty bright. But anyway, let's we're going to plug it in. Before we plug it in, let's make sure we have a rheostat switch down, or the dimmer switch. Now we are live in power. The next step is to increase the voltage. While we increase the voltage, the induction motor starts inducing, turning the permanent magnet alternator. After the permanent magnet alternator is in rotation, based on the speed, it charges the capacitor bank up. The capacitor bank gets charged. Right now they are pretty charged. I'm going to discharge them by shutting the system down. Okay, you can either shut the system down by pushing this switch or this switch. This is the main switch here. This is just to control the speed. Now pushing this switch, that can increase the speed. That's the maximum speed. Those capacitors are well charged at this moment. Now it doesn't take that much to charge these capacitors. Now you're going to see the discharge. I'm using a screwdriver here to discharge the main capacitor. Wow, that's a pretty good spark there. And that's all it needs right there to get a good charge in the capacitor system. Okay, so charging that up. and they're ready to go. Okay, now the thing with this system, we need a blocking diode. There's no blocking diode on it yet because that's not completed. The blocking diode will stop the energy from going back into the permanent magnet alternator and keep the system charged.